Welcome to the Art of Money Podcast with Art McPherson.
And this is the Art of Money Podcast with Art McPherson and Luke McCarty, artofmoneyradio.com for more information on the McPherson Financial Group or to schedule that initial complimentary consultation. We appreciate you listening. Now, let's get to the show. Mark Bernard joining us here, the in-house CPA for the McPherson Financial Group. A lot of people coming to you for those extension and end-of-year tax information right now, Mark.
Yeah, we talked about it last week as well. There is a lot of end-of-year planning where you have to get stuff done before 12/31. So there are a bunch of questions looking at different scenarios of how we can do some tax savings before the end of the year.
Excellent. And one of the things we want to talk about this weekend here is the opportunities for a QCD. Tell me more about that.
Yeah, QCD, also known as a qualified charitable distribution, is one of the most tax efficient ways that mature donors or charitable people can pass money to their 501c3, which is a charity, a qualified charity.
All right, you said a lot of three-letter acronyms in that. Make it more of a layman's terms here.
So if you want to donate to your church, let's say, and you have an RMD, a required minimum distribution, or you're over 70 and a half and you have distributions that you want to make this year, instead of taking that distribution and putting it on your tax return, you can directly move the money from your IRA directly to your church.
So they could give, instead of taking the RMD in hand and having to pay tax on it, they can have it directed towards their church or a charity, and then that way it would not be taxable.
Correct. With the standard deduction, it's really hard to get deductions for your charitable contributions. And if you do, that means you're itemizing your deduction, which eliminates the standard deduction. So using a qualified charitable distribution, what you can do is, instead of taking that income on, take your IRA distribution, which is income to your tax return, followed by itemized deduction. You can avoid having that income hit your tax return by making that distribution directly to your charity, and then you still can take your standard deduction, so you get an overall better benefit tax-wise.
Talking to Mark Bernard, the in-house CPA for the McPherson Financial Group. Is a QCD something that a lot of people overlook or just don't realize it could benefit them?
Yes, Mark. I think a lot of people do miss this benefit, this loophole of being able to make charitable contributions out of taxable distributions out of your IRA. And by using a QCD, you avoid adding that income to your tax return. And I don't think enough people think about it, especially those folks that are charitable. Now, you have to be at least 70 and a half years old, and it is limited to $100,000 a year.
So the thing that's nice about this, Mark, is typically people just want to make sure they're doing their RMD, qualified distribution, make sure they don't get their 50% penalty tax, things like that. But they don't realize by gifting that, so if they are charitably inclined and they give to their church 10% of their income, things like that, this can be a huge deal for them because they're still giving to the church. Nothing changes. And when we do a required minimum distribution for a client, we can do it monthly, we can do it annually, however the client wants to do it. So they could literally take the money they normally pay out of after-tax dollars to the church and actually do it and get a deduction, or at least not have that as extra income by doing it through their QCD.
And as I mentioned before, Mark, they still get their standard deduction. So that's the thing that's really nice, is that you don't have that income inclusion that you in the past were able to use itemized deductions to eliminate the tax of that charitable contribution, but you still get your standard deduction on top of that.
321-425-8550. Mark Bernard, in-house CPA for the McPherson Financial Group, joining us this weekend. And Mark, as we prepare for 2023, what else should we prepare for? Are there any tips you can give us for our tax plans?
There's some things like looking at those Roth conversions again. That's another 12/31 deadline. So if you are at all interested in a Roth conversion, we need to get those done before 12/31. The other thing is, starting in 2023, the IRS came out and said we're going to get about a 5% bump to our standard deductions. So you can expect a little bit more deductions when it comes to reducing your taxable income.
Okay, educate me. Is that a good or a bad thing?
It's a good thing. So, most people get about a $27,000 standard deduction right now. That's going to bump up to about $30,000. So standard deduction reduces your taxable income, which then allows you to pay less taxes.
So if you made $100,000 on your W-2, Mark, and you just took a standard deduction with your wife, you'd be able to claim $30,000 as a deduction next year, where this year was $27,000.
321-425-8550. Nothing wrong with asking the questions, how it's going to benefit your tax strategy. And the team at the McPherson Financial Group want to help you out with the in-house CPA. And Mark, this might be kind of a weird question, but with the holidays here, maybe you have like a family member that's tough to shop for. Is there anything wrong, and Art, I'll ask you the same question too, with scheduling a consultation with the McPherson Financial Group as a gift to a family member?
Absolutely not. We're welcome to all people that want to come in, but that would be a gift that probably would continue to give going forward.
That's not a bad idea at all there, Mark. Basically, anytime we have family members that have been referred to us, they're always a priority for us anyways. But yeah, we have so much that we can offer besides just the wealth planning side of it, with the trusts and the wills that we can now do through Jessica Burgess, the tax planning that we can do now with Mark. It just really, we have the full service planning available here at McPherson Financial Group.
321-425-8550. And Mark, I guess enjoy the holidays now while it's a little bit slower for you, because once that calendar flips, everybody starts thinking about their taxes and it's about to get real busy real fast.
Yeah, our clients are pretty in tune. I have a pretty full schedule for the rest of the year. Folks like to get together and see what else we can do before the end of the year.
But yeah, you're right. It gets real busy starting January.
Yep.
It's not too bad in January, but February, March, and April, it gets real hectic. I think it'll be better this year, though. Last year, it was even worse for him because it was his first year here, first tax season here, and we had to get a lot of software and things up to date. But this year should be running smooth, except for the amount of returns you have to do.
Yeah, right. We're ready to rock and roll.
Thanks for listening. Want more from Art McPherson of McPherson Financial Group? Find us online at artofmoneyradio.com.
We are an independent financial services firm helping individuals create retirement strategies using a variety of financial and insurance products to custom suit their needs and objectives. Securities offered through World Equity Group, Inc., member FINRA and SIPC, a registered investment advisor. Investment advisory services offered through ProStatus Group, LLC. McPherson Financial Group and ProStatus Group, LLC are separate entities and are not owned or controlled by World Equity Group, Inc. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. Investment financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. Art McPherson is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Please consult with your attorney, accountant, and or tax advisor for advice concerning your particular circumstances. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Arthur McPherson. Florida Insurance License number A174. 725.
Today's show has been a work of art.